Hi, we're here at the Metals Investor Forum, and I'm talking with Kerry Knoll of Darnley Bay. Darnley is certainly a stock that I own, and I'm pretty excited about it. Darnley is still fairly new out the gate, acquired an asset called Pine Point, which anyone who's been in the mining game for a while may remember because it was a very significant mine in the Northwest Territories. That mine ended for a variety of reasons, but left 46 unmined deposits, lead zinc deposits up there. And so Kerry and his team saw an opportunity, acquired the asset, and are now working towards putting that into production. And the PEA that you just produced, pretty robust PEA out the gate.
Yes, absolutely. It shows a net present value of $340 million against a capex of only $150 million. And when you have that kind of ratio, you've got a mine for sure. It's got an internal rate of return at $1.10 zinc of 48%. Again, a super high number for a mining project.
Absolutely. So those numbers certainly caught my eye. But what I think is more important right now is that you guys haven't actually done any work on the asset yet. You just got it. You're heading up there now and setting up for your first season of work. And I see some pretty easily accessible upside that's available to you to add to the next iteration of the economics here, right?
Of course.
Between exploration and metallurgy and whatnot. So why don't you take us through the goals of this season?
Sure. Well, there's three things that we can do to increase the eventual output of this project. First one being very simple, and that's metallurgical drilling. So we're going to take samples from each deposit and we're going to rerun the metallurgy. The metallurgy has not been done on all these deposits. Therefore, for the PEA, we had to use a lower number than Cominco historically obtained from this project.
Right.
So we think we can up that quite easily. And that's just free pounds. You don't have to spend any more money on the mill in order to get those pounds out. Second thing we want to do is take some of the other historical deposits that are not in the mine plan, drill them into what's called 43-101 status, and in order to include them in the next phase of the mine plan. So we can grow this project without having to discover any new deposits.
Right, because of those 46, there's now only 10 in the mine plan.
That's right, and we think probably another 5 to 10 will make the cut.
Right.
So again, we can grow the project significantly without discovering anything. But the third thing we want to do is try and discover some new deposits. And the reason we're going after that when we already have all these deposits is because the highest grade mines deposits were mined out. But there's still about 15 kilometers of the trend that is not been explored. So we want to get out there and do some geophysics, followed by drilling this summer, and try to find some of those super high grade deposits that were mined in the past.
And I think that the potential is good for that. Cominco, when they were up there, didn't look at deposits or targets that were too far away from where their mill was. And they built their town site right on top of some pretty interesting targets as well, right?
That's right. The town was built on one of the three structures at the time before the structure had been identified, because that particular structure didn't outcrop. So they didn't know it was there until after the town was built, and that town site has never been explored.
Right. Okay, so three easy, so to speak, or obvious targets this summer. Pine Point was a very successful mine for quite a few years, and the infrastructure that's up there deserves mention. So, like
Sure.
the railway.
We've got the only town nearby our project, the only town in the Northwest Territories that has rail access.
Right.
So when you're mining a bulk commodity like lead or zinc, you have to get it to markets, which is usually Asia. So in order to ship that, rather than having to do more expensive trucking, we can put it on the rail. Mm-hmm. We also have a paved highway to the project. We have hydroelectric power to the project. We have an airport nearby. There's a hospital facility in the nearby town. So we've got a lot of infrastructure that would cost a lot of money if we were in a more isolated location.
Absolutely. Infrastructure requirements that could be prohibitive to making an economic mine are all right there.
That's right.
And speaking of economic mines, I'm speaking to someone who has built quite a few economic mines. So when you're looking to build a new asset like this, it's really important that the team knows what's required and knows how to take this through. So I think the team here is also worth talking about.
Sure. I can mention we have quite a large team we put together. We've got the full team now in place that we need to build the mine. But I'll talk about a couple of the players in particular. One is a woman named Helena McGregor, who's our Chief Financial Officer. She was Chief Financial Officer of some major mining companies, including Sherritt and Goldcorp. We also have hired a mining engineer by the name of John Key, And John has not only run the largest lead zinc mine in the world for many years, that was the Red Dog for Teck up in Alaska, but he's run mines in the Northwest Territories and Missouri and Mexico and Texas and a lot of other places. So we have the leaders in place who've built mines before, who've operated mines before, and know what we need to do to get there.
Absolutely. And you're being modest, not describing yourself, but you have also built, financed, and operated some very successful stories in the past as well. So it's a really strong team. I mean, the zinc space has taken a bit of a step back as the price cooled off to start 2017. Lots of stocks in the sector are down significantly, 40, 30, 50%. But to me, the valuation of Darnley right now is very enticing.
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming to the conference and thanks for chatting with me.
Well, thanks for having us.